It's a Nepo housing market. More than a third of Gen Zers and millennials expect their parents to help them with the down payment. And sometimes the down payment's not enough. Let me explain. So the down payment is just half the battle because the prices are so high and the interest rates. Millennials and Gen Zs are struggling to have the income needed to qualify for the loan. So if they're going to try and buy a $400,000 home and their parents or a grandparent gives them $50,000 for a down payment, that's amazing. But they still have to qualify for the $350,000 loan, which ends up being about $3,000 out the door with property taxes, homeowner insurance, principal and interest and everything. So they would need about $90,000 to $100,000 in a salary with no debt to qualify for that. And if they made $60,000, $70,000, they would actually not be able to qualify and would need a potential cosign, which I actually see a lot happening. So for families that sit down, go over the finances, you know that your child is responsible, they're going to make the payments and you're going to cosign, just make sure you talk with the lender, make sure you talk everything through to see if this is the right move. But I think we're going to see a lot more of this in the future where parents who are capable are going to help their children in cosign so they can get a piece of the American dream.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Robert here. If that's the case and you have the family structure in which to be able to do that, well, then that's a blessing. We won't call it nepotism because to me that's a negative connotation and we need to get out of that. If you're able to get help, which most of us need, then you are blessed if you have that type of generational wealth. Now, one thing I want to say with these videos that you guys are seeing and that we're reacting to is, first and foremost, they always take the national average of home prices. And I believe what that does is it makes everybody think that all home prices are $400,000 and they are not. And so keep that in mind. Also, everything that he's given here, and I guess on TikTok they could get away with it, but he's not giving you an example of where he's getting the taxes and insurance from, so on and so forth. So I don't give payment estimates online because of that, because there's so much nuance to everybody's situation. But I think he has a good intent. Second thing he said that I want to address is if you do have a family structure situation in which you have people that are able to bless you with a down payment and maybe even cosign, where there's loans that will allow for that. But you as the person giving the gift and or cosigner, you really got to understand that once you give the gift, the money's gone unless you structure things differently, or when you cosign, that's going on your credit as well. So make sure you've brought up the person properly to assure that they're going to be accountable and responsible. And if they can't, then you know and understand that you have to make the payment. I say that because I've seen situations where people may help family member, but everything is riding on that person being able to keep the agreement. And if that person can't, then everybody's going down. So make sure that's the case. But again, there are folks out here that are helping their children or child get into a property because in certain markets, it is very expensive. But everybody doesn't have to make $100,000 and everybody isn't buying $400,000 homes. I just want to stress that so that you're not deterred or discouraged. Run your numbers and check in your local market.
Oh, I was able to become a homeowner at 25. Nope. Edition. I do my lip combo while I tell you. I bought a 1+1 condo in downtown Toronto. It's not that big, like it's cute. Like, I've been working since I was in high school. I first worked as a math tutor and then I worked at Tim Hortons. Obviously I studied neuroscience and psych, but I also worked at U of T call center and then I worked in a lab, like have been investing since I was 18. And then out of school, I worked in clinical research. I'm a full-time influencer. Through these jobs, like I have saved money. Obviously now I really just feel like I want to be settled. Like my parents did help me. Oh my god, here we go. Here comes the hate. That's the reality of it. Three of us kind of combined. The house is in my name and I will be obviously like carrying it for the next 25 years. It's a South Asian thing that my dad has always been such a preacher of, like generational wealth. Need to invest and wanting to support me. And I put a good chunk of money into the house so that my monthly wouldn't be as high. Because I'm working for myself as a full-time influencer now, like I don't want to have like a huge monthly. Like, I am beyond grateful that my parents like stepped in like that and like were so like willing to just like help me go to this next step of my life. I'm gonna sit here and lie and say that I did everything by myself because I didn't. That being said though, like I did say,
well, I stand corrected. She didn't do it on her own. It was more of a generational living situation. And so shout out to her and her parents. Obviously, they're able to live together and that's a wise thing. if you can do it. And she is going to take care of the bulk of the payments. And they used their income probably to help get into the home, or maybe some down payment, so on and so forth. But nothing to be ashamed of. And that might be something that you have to consider as we move forward. The reason I'm showing Canadian home buyers is because you think real estate is expensive here. In America, you have no idea. Check out Canada. Even though she has used her parents to help her get into the home, I guarantee you those homes are million plus. And I'm talking about regular, basic homes. So using that to inspire you. And then we want to eat the meat and spit out the bones. So if you could come together with mom and dad, or mom or dad, and they're going to be living with you, and you guys have a great relationship, and you could come together to put the family in a better place. She mentioned Southeast Asian culture. A lot of those cultures are about coming together and helping one another out as far as generations are concerned. If that can be done, it's a beautiful thing. I ain't mad at them. Shout out to you. And let's wrap this thing up with this next video.
There's a new lending rule, and I think you're going to like it. This has to do with gift funds when you're buying your first home. It's very common for first-time buyers to either get a gift for their down payment or closing costs when they buy their first home. This is also used sometimes when people get paid in cash. I love it when the lenders ease up on guidelines, because basically it means that they need more loans. Okay, so here's a new rule. If you go to buy a home and you're going to get a gift from someone for the closing cost or down payment, then typically that person has to sign a document that says they're gifting you the money. Then the lender needs a copy of their bank statement showing that they had the money in the bank and that they're giving you these funds or transferring over to your account. So basically they have to follow the money. The new rule is they don't have to do that anymore. They don't have to source the funds. All they need is the gift letter showing the amount that's going to be gifted and the deposit. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
So there you have it, guys. There are several ways for you to get into a home in the times that we're in and overcome the largest barrier as far as gift funds with all of the different methods that this video pointed out. You can get gifts from your family members in the form of cash, live in a generational type home setting where folks come together and help one another out as far as getting the home is concerned on the loan, and then live in the house together. And then all of these things are acceptable and made easier when it comes to the source and the seasoning of these funds. We used to call it mattress money back in the day, and it used to be very hard to come by. But if you have the ability to have someone gift you monies, if that money is wired to the title company or the escrow officer or the attorney, then you don't have to come up with the documentation to show that said money has been sourced and seasoned for 60 days. You just got to have a gift letter, and it has to come from an acceptable source. So many more ways for you to get into a home. And so if you're ready to get onto the property ladder and want to do so in a way that is simplified, you have to do that by working with someone that has knowledge and a system. And I like to throw my name in the running for that because I'm a lender. My NMLS license number is 180100, and I would love to have a conversation to see if we're a fit. My contact information will be in the top pinned comment or in the description of this video. My time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, guys, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. Watch these next two videos. They'll help you in your education process as you move towards buying your home. And for the rest of you guys, indeed, y'all stay blessed.